And his name was John Cena.
I meant to turn mine up.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall for the WWE.
You have been watching a lot of wrestling.
United States Championship.
Oh, hi. Yeah. I didn't see you guys there.
Oh, you can see that again if you need to.
No, it's perfect. Okay. It's exactly how I want it to be.
All right. Do you guys... Right. Does Ryan edit this?
No.
Or no.
He picks a spot early on and he's like, this looks like a good place to start.
Last episode, Kevin was, you were posting a picture, I think, and he said to entertain, so I sang Rich Girl by Hall & Oates. That's like a good amount of it, actually.
That's solid. Yeah, that's a very good, that dominated.
Yeah, you kept that going longer than I expected. But it was good, though.
Yeah.
You knew more words than I pictured.
You really do need to be on the panel.
Did that make the cut on the? You don't listen.
No, it's on there. Yeah, I looked it up. It's on there. I was expecting it to be what Ryan normally does. He will, if I sing on the podcast, which has happened multiple times now.
Okay.
That we've sang, one of us. It usually becomes the intro music to the podcast. So I was expecting to turn it on and it not be like the whatever song thing we had going. It would just be,
Should have given a heads up on that. Mm-hmm. First and foremost, this is probably the coolest place we've ever shot a podcast, recorded a podcast.
Oh yeah,
I feel very cool.
Welcome to the green room.
The green room, as it's called here at Twister's Comedy Club, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Provided cowboy hats and everything.
Dude, that's a service we have not gotten anywhere else.
Yeah, it's really gay, right? No, I'm just kidding.
I feel it feels right. Might have a twang this episode.
Where did Thomas go this episode? But today we are joined by Aaron White, one of the founders and owners of the entire event space, right?
Yeah. Welcome to Twister's Comedy Club. And then we're also Chisholm Creek Event Center, but we're going to be combining a lot of things together over the course of this year. So it'll be a mix of comedy. We have dance classes. We have swing, Western, taught by Justin. He's the teacher at Oklahoma Ranch, at Cowboys, at Redneck Yacht Saloon, et cetera, or Yacht Club. And he also does stuff at Stillwater. We also have Bilo KC. So we've got a lot of bachata, salsa, and then of course comedy as we start to build it this year. But it's going to be very iterative, so we're doing tons of shit. So.
That's awesome, though. It's a super cool thing, man. I think especially from my perspective, because I remember you coming into the store and just kind of like spitballing the idea of the existence of this. So now to like fast forward, however long it's been into sitting in the green room with a cowboy hat on, talking to you about it is a really cool thing, man.
Yeah, I really hope that this space becomes like the whole aim of this building, and what we're going to be doing inside of it is the city really needs like a social hub, like a true social hub, like something that is worthy of you getting off your phone and coming into it. And I think that you got to have a lot of reasons. It's not the same as going to a bar in like the early 2000s or even going out to a dance club and stuff. So I want people to know that when they walk in the building here, like crowd work comedy, like you get to be a part of the show. Basically social-based dance, like you show up to a free class and there's going to be a vibe that we're going to try to cultivate here where like even if you're a total introvert, we're going to get you out of your shell. We're going to get you connected with people. You're going to make friends, damn it. You're not going to be an incel on Reddit. Yeah. I think there is some like element of men's mental health that is important to me in the midst of this. So I think that like I want to help cure that problem. So
well, that's like sorry for cutting you off.
No, I feel like that's a really worthy cause. I feel like a lot of people will like, even if that's not a struggle for them, will like really get behind that.
Yeah.
Well, like I was coaching jiu-jitsu class the other day, and like at the end of class, like we do announcements, and we've got some people coming up that are fighting at Rage in the Cage, June 28th at OKC Farmers Market.
Oh, sick.
But One of the things that I kind of talked about at the end of class, just, I had a little 2-minute thing. I was just talking and I was like, hey, like we got Rage in the Cage coming up, like go out, support your teammates. And also like there's something really cool about getting outside of the 4 walls of the gym to bridge that community outside of like what we just normally associate with it. And I just kind of like just was saying like, some of your best friendships and relationships that you can find can exist in this gym if you let them. Right.
Yeah.
And it's like having something like a hobby and then taking it even a step further of like taking that hobby outside of those 4 walls or just like, it's like, man, that's like where I found some of my closest people that are like-minded, that have, a lot of the same goals that I do. And it's like, I think that with social media or the internet or whatever in general, I feel like we band-aid over that need with like the social connection that we like pseudo get through social media as opposed to like actually just going and making genuine connections with people.
On that note, I do think that gyms in general, since you guys are so close with all the gyms in the city, I think if gyms want to like truly survive and thrive in the future, like that's going to be like a must. Because I've been hopping gyms, and then I literally asked you, Kevin, I was like, hey, what gym do I go to? Where do I fit in? But in reality, all I was looking for is just a gym where like I actually feel like I'm friends with them outside of the gym.
Right.
Like that was pretty much my number one thing. Like not to say that I'm perfect or anything like that, like when it comes to lifting, but like I don't know, like or working out in general, but like I do need that. And and then you suggested Prevail, and then me and Ross started going there, and I already feel like we're a really good fit there because
Making some friends there.
Yeah, and I think the way that Sean's kind of cultivated things, the way he wants the coaches to treat people, I think the hikes, the trips, et cetera. I think all that stuff's huge.
The additional stuff is big for them.
Expand outside of those 4 walls.
Yes. Yeah. So I think that's a must for the modern gym now.
Right.
And if you don't do that, then, and that's no shade towards any gym that I've attended in the past. It's just like, you have to do that now.
The market's changed.
Even like you take it outside of the gym. I mean, like that's even something that we've realized how important it is for us as Triad and Define to take our employees out of the regular scheduled programming of like being together at work and like, hey, let's go like fuck around at Topgolf. Like, let's go have a pool party at someone's neighborhood pool. Like whatever that is, it's like, you just realize how much deeper those connections can be made when you create. I think part of it is like whether it's the gym or whether it's work, there is a redundancy factor to it where it's hard to navigate the days. You forget what was my last Tuesday versus my last Wednesday. If I'm at work for the same 8 hours, it's really hard to tell those days apart. Mm-hmm. But if you break up that monotony, even if your job is great, right? There's still monotony to it. If you break that up with like, I have a core memory of us going to Topgolf where I remember those conversations. I remember the good time I had. It's like, I feel like those become like green flags in time that
reference points.
Right. When it's like, when you don't have that, it's like, again, even with, I mean, how easy is it for like days to blend together anymore? Because there is just like a lot of doing the same things, which isn't always a bad thing. But I think for us, it's like, oh, let's break up the environment. Even though it's the same people hanging out with the same people a lot, it's like, let's break up the environment into something different. And those create much longer lasting memories of good times.
I think you guys are crushing that just because like I notice how often you guys do that, and you give it some variety too. It's not just going to Topgolf. It's like you have like a nice, like you have an awards sort of event. You guys have reasons to dress up, you guys, that stuff matters a lot. And I think it cultivates like a lot of camaraderie. And, even at my job, like I work at probably one of the most prestigious employers in Oklahoma City. And like, I feel like sometimes it's pulling teeth to even get an event like that to happen. So
Sure.
The fact that a small business is doing it is insane.
I think it gets tougher as you get bigger. We actually found ourselves recently,
or not so small business anymore. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
location number 4,
relatively still very small compared to some of the other companies here.
Okay.
Even just in Oklahoma City, like I'll consider ourselves a small business for quite a while. I think so.
Yeah,
no.
That is how I envisioned it. I was like, I'm comparing you to corporations as opposed to like a restaurant or anything. Yeah.
But as we've gotten bigger, and once we got to like 3 locations, and we always try and schedule our company events when, like, we used to be able to do it when's everybody in town? It's like, well, there are no weekends where everybody's in town anymore.
Right.
We're at
You have
about
20 employees. It's like
20
there's always
employees.
somebody gone.
Right.
So we just have to pick the weekend that the least amount of people are out of town. And we ended up having like a lot of like triad related things going on, and like a lot of people out of town and things were busy. So we went like 2 or 3 months without having a company event, and we started employees started to notice and rightfully so complain about it, of like, man, I don't feel like I've, gotten to do anything fun with, as a company, or, I don't get to see the guys from the other stores hardly ever. So we're like, oh man, like we were kind of slacking on that. Like we understand the importance of it. We're kind of dropped the ball on it. So we've been really diligent about making sure to continue to have those. So
that's cool that they get that,
Yeah.
And honestly, there's a lot of perks for working for you guys. Like, just because I don't know what it's like to be like a brand new employee coming into Triad, but you guys have amassed this huge network now, like of inside of the health and fitness community inside of Oklahoma City, that now, like, when you join, like, you get access to that network once you're an employee. And I feel like that's a very underrated piece of that's a very underrated perk that you get as soon as you do that. So if you have an extra side business or something, it immediately benefits.
It's really hard to explain that to new people coming on board too. And I think a lot of people start to realize as they start to work for Triad and realize how many people they know and how many people know of us and the reputation, and hopefully it's good for most people.
Your t-shirts may be like the best marketing campaign I've ever seen in Oklahoma City.
Right behind BC Clark's anniversary sale commercial.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
We put that in one of our comedy shows, actually. Yeah. Shout out Christella.
Just me fun.
Good. I heard that this last Christmas, and I was like, I want Triad shirts to be as associated with Oklahoma as the BC Clark anniversary sale.
Hell of a
How do you do that?
Dude, we're maybe shooting for the stars here.
Yeah.
But
I mean, because their big thing, also, like, what was it? The like, if it rains on your wedding or whatever, then you get the ring free. That's insane. But like,
do they really?
That a crazy loss leader. But like, that's the thing that you hear. I don't know how true it is actually.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of red tape if that actually happens, but like
There's probably a lot of exceptions. Yeah. I imagine.
I mean, hopefully it's true. I mean, that's super cool if there's not an extreme amount of red tape associated with that. I don't want to assume that. So
shout out to BC Clark, I guess, in case we get important enough to befriend them. But like, I'm not trying to hate on your wedding thing or whatever, but yeah.
We'll show them this episode before we release it and make sure we'll get an endorsement fee, or we're going to cut this.
All right.
I think they've got that copyrighted, like for our discount day, like most sales come after Christmas. Ours is Triad's discount day.
We do a knockoff.
You just need a jingle
for the Triad clearance sale.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hey, if it's satirical, we can do it, right?
That's like apparently how it is. Yeah.
Yeah, just make it 10% different or whatever.
Yeah, because I just saw something about that where it's like Weird Al has like never actually had to ask anybody to like use their song, because it's like I think it's like freedom of speech covers like satirical like recreations.
Yeah, it also covers racism, such as this joke. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I'm kidding. Yeah. Can I start telling jokes?
Well, do appreciate the compliments about the shirts. It is a funny thing though for people that I meet out in the wild that don't like associate or know Triad as well. Because there's a funny story that got brought up about this that I had not thought about in forever, but I'll have people I know that will be like, oh, I saw one of your employees. And I'll be like, oh, like, who was it? And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, oh, how, like, essentially like, how do you know that and they're like, oh, they're wearing a Triad shirt. And I'm like,
so there's just thousands of
it's like,
employees.
no, like we printed a lot of I'm like, you have 3 Triad
Yeah,
shirts.
you're
like,
not a small business. You have thousands of people walking around the city with shirts.
but it's like, it's always somebody that like has Triad shirts though. And I'm like, you don't work for us. You know the difference, right?
We have special needs twins. They wear the Triad shirts to school. So I'm imagining, right? I don't know where to take this.
Yeah,
I
they're
got to untake this now.
But something that happened one time, I forget where it was. It doesn't really matter. But somebody made a mess in a parking lot with like popping balloons and left a big mess. And they were wearing a Triad shirt.
Damn.
And it wasn't one of us, but I don't remember how we found out about it.
Someone messaged, I think they messaged the Triad page to complain about it and said, hey, you guys left your mess in the parking lot. You know, you need to send somebody to go clean it up. Like, I think it was like signs and balloons like left out.
Right.
And we're like, what intersection? And they like point out some random intersection. Like, yeah, you guys were out there for an event and you left all this stuff. And we're like, we were not though. Like, but yeah, we got blamed because the person that like set them up was wearing a Triad shirt.
Right.
And it was just wild. So like, at the end of the story, we explained like, hey, like, that wasn't us, but all that being said, we will go clean it up.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, that'd be crazy if you just did, and then you end up getting some, like, hey, this was not our mess, but since you called us and we were wearing a shirt, we're awesome, right? Like,
right, because if we just explain and we're just trying to justify, and they may or may not believe us, so we put in the group, like, hey, who can get out there? And Kaylin went and cleaned it up.
Yeah, Kaylin went and cleaned it up.
Holy crap. Okay. Damn.
But
we were framed.
Yeah, right?
It was a rival
I'm going to do this
store.
later. No, I'm kidding.
how can we leverage that? But yeah, it was just kind of funny to me. I guess, I mean, obviously being a small business, there's at least a better chance that someone wearing a Triad shirt is a Triad employee. Still not a great ratio, like maybe like 1%. But like, it's like, if you saw someone in a Nike shirt doing that, you're going to call Phil Knight and be like, hey, like you guys left.
To get a whole corporation behind that? Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah.
You didn't know by my cup, I play for the Philadelphia Eagles. So, but yeah, no, we did. We went out and cleaned it up. That reminds me of a story of when I was in high school, where somebody TP'd someone's house and mashed potatoed their lawn and left a wallet with my student ID there. It was a plant. I was framed. And
that's good.
No, it's
not for you, but
no, it's terrible. Because like the father of this young lady's house called my mom, like freaking out, saying that like he was going to press charges and all this stuff. And my mom like busts open my door and is like, where did you go last night? And I'm like, what? Like, huh? Like, you know, I just woke up because it's like 7:00 in the morning. And I'm like, I didn't go anywhere. Like, what do you, and she's like, did you sneak? And I'm like, no, I didn't. And this dude was like, apparently like really threatening, calling my mom, saying he was going to like call the police. I had to go over there and clean it up. And the thing was, is like, the girl was like, we had never had like, and even she was like, it wasn't Thomas. Like, we're friends. He's never been mean to me. Like, I've never like anything. And I remember I'm like 14 at the time, you know, and I remember like the girl had gone back inside and I'd finished cleaning it up and I was not nice. Because the dude like she goes in and I'm like, all right, like I'm going to leave or whatever. And he like stops me, like puts his hand on my chest kind of thing, goes, between me and you, was it you? And I'm like, no, asshole, for the 10th time, it was not me. And he's like, all right, well, I appreciate you coming over and cleaning it up. And I'm like,
get fucked.
Yeah, for real. Like, dude,
yeah.
Go eat some mashed potatoes.
I'm just imagining him pressing charges. Like, what are you going to write on that? Like, he put mashed potatoes in my grass.
Vandalism? I don't know. But I was like, bro, like, but yeah, that was the whole thing.
Does I don't mean to take away from this, but do you guys like split these into clips at all? Like, you know, like little
snippets.
We'll usually pull a clip to promote the episode on social media, like at least one. So
Okay. Because
It's going to be me as the mashed potato bandit.
yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah. So
was
it was
right.
you.
After that, then I was like, I already got this reputation. I might as well do it.
Yeah, I swear to God, if there's mashed potatoes in here.
Come in tomorrow.
I don't know. I guess with comedy and stuff, it's very common. Like, okay, you try to like tell a 60-second story and stuff. So I wrote down some ideas for some like 60 seconds.
Ooh.
I'm
excited.
I'm going to see how this goes. I have no
We
idea,
love this. We can edit anything out.
So you I remember when I used to go to Triad at the Quail Springs location. Now I tend to go more to Yukon. I remember seeing Dylan Smith a lot, and he sent me a text today, and he reminded me of this chiropractor that I went to recently because he was going to shadow him. But anyways, I saw the chiropractor in the new. Ah, shit! You're gonna have to cut this out. Fuck. Okay. So you remind me of a doctor that we both knew, and then the doctor, he was on the news because like 7 people came forward and said that he inappropriately touched them,
Whoa.
which is insane. But like, I'm kind of this is messed up, but I'm kind of offended he didn't touch me. If I'm being honest with you, like, I have no idea. I don't know if he's gay. I don't even know if I'm gay, but I know I'm gay enough to be offended because
Right.
it bothered
He
me.
didn't make a pass at you.
He didn't. He could be so far back in the closet, he's looking for Narnia. I don't know.
Right.
Like, we don't know where he's at. But if I would have known he was doing this side hustle, then I
Would have flirted, yeah.
Yeah, I would have shown up to more appointments. That's for
Yeah.
damn sure. But he got his license revoked. So,
Yeah, that's bad.
so that was number 1. Okay. Number 2, I used to do these middle school and high school. They're kind of rough for me. But I remember they were more rough when I went back when I was doing this gig where I was doing photo shoots for middle schools. And they hired this other guy that was kind of like a little creepy, which is not a good look for school. I think they just thought to themselves like, who could shoot the entire school? And then they picked that guy. Damn it! That one didn't land the way I thought it would. He had what did he do? He did. We had a bring your kid to work day thing, and he never brought the same kid twice. You know? So I was like, no way you let this guy work with me. Yeah, I don't know. All right, number 2 wasn't as good. Let's go to the next one.
hey, we're testing some material, right?
Material, yeah.
I know the lingo.
Yeah. This is
I'm no comedian.
basically an open mic at this point. So my family, they kind of like that whole, there's a couple family members, they really like the whole like the astrology and like, rocks that give you
Energy
energies.
rocks
Yeah. So that way it's your
I found out my moon sign the other day.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that?
I don't know what it means, but I think I'm a Cancer, but I'm also a Sagittarius and apparently also a Leo.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
How can it be all of them?
Because you got like your
of
main one, and then you got your moon
one.
sign, and then you got your like rising. I don't know.
This is just calculus for people on drugs.
Yeah.
Like, I swear to God, that's all it is.
There's like an old my wife's like best friend is really into it, and she's
Well, the crazy thing is when my family does meth, they usually manifest their parole officer. That's the rocks they like. But that was the joke.
Right,
yeah, but they
that's a kind of energy rock.
yeah, they like that energy. Like, that's exactly it. They fuck heavy with that.
Yeah.
I still remember being a kid and my uncle, he lived in a trailer park and he rewired a lot of the lights with Christmas lights, and it blew my mind. The lights worked. They stayed on. The lights stayed on. The roof didn't. But the lights were definitely working. And so was the fire department. They were working as well that night. And I don't know why, but this is making me think of my aunt, so I'm going to go in that direction. I think my aunt, she always had a lot of health problems, but she just didn't care. Like she would hate your store. Like she would never go there. She's she was treating the ICU like it was a fucking restart button. Like, did you guys ever play Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah.
Like she'd just show up there and shit, here
Yeah.
we go again. Like
R2 L1 down left, down left, down left.
dude, I don't
Respawn in
why.
the ICU.
Yeah. She just doesn't want to live, and Death would just show up and just be like, "Ma'am, I need you to stop loitering. Like, please get out of here." Like, I got people that are more committed to this shit, but she's just, she's just so bad at dying. That did not hit right. All right. Let's see. Twins. For those who don't know, I have twins with special needs. I adopted them from my sister. She gave up. So I know I'm getting into heaven. I don't know about you guys.
That's your ticket.
Yeah. And also, I don't know if I could say that after making fun of my aunt wanting to die. Not a good look. The twins, they're infamous at the Deer Creek School District. They pulled the fire alarm several times. They've broken a toilet. They've already fucked up the whole bit. Yeah. But we do get a lot of help. Like, we get a lot of organizations coming to us, like saying, "Hey, how can we help?" Like, there was this knockoff of Make-A-Wish, and they're like, "Hey, we'd like to make a wish. Can they, make a wish?" And the thing is the twins are nonverbal. So I'm like, no, they can't make a wish. Like, just let them pull the fire alarm again. I don't know. Like, just legally committing arson. That's their wish. Yeah. I don't know. Like, just let them do that one more time. What are they going to wish for? More.
Based off previous, I can't tell you, but based off previous actions, this is, I think, what
Yeah,
they would do.
right. So I was like, I'll make the wish. Like, and that's how I met John Cena.
I can see the caption now for this episode in big, bold, capital, stand-up comedian Aaron White.
We might get canceled this episode.
Yeah, some of this is why. Will Rogers. I don't know. This one's the worst, probably though. So Will Rogers, we have him on the wall here. He might be the most famous comedian from Oklahoma ever. But he died in a plane crash in the Alaskan wilderness, alongside Wiley Post, who's also another famous Oklahoman, who had one eye. So surprise, like, I don't know. But I mean, for a comedian to go, like, he was maybe the best comedian of all time from Oklahoma. And I have to admit, he went out with one hell of a closer. The ground. Yeah. Sorry.
So they died in a plane crash?
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then they named the two airports after them?
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, dang. Yeah. You guys were way ahead of me on this shit. Yeah.
That's kind of brutal.
Right? Yeah. Oklahoma got the last laugh.
That's crazy.
That hurt. Yeah.
All right.
Some people would say that this joke is maybe like this, now that you're part of it, like, is insensitive, but I don't think it is insensitive, because I think as a comedian, he made sure that he stuck every landing. Including the last one. Yeah. All right. Sorry. You guys, I don't know how to time that correctly. Maybe some more later. I don't know.
But that's brutal that they named it, like, both airports after them.
Yeah, they had to have thought about that.
Well, yeah. Dude,
Like,
that'd be like like the Heimlich maneuvers named after some guy that choked to death.
Hey, that guy's he's pulling a Heimlich over there. Getting a Heimlich.
That's crazy though. But for real, I didn't know that they died in a plane crash.
Yeah, that's what they did.
Who's Wiley Post? Like, I know the name, but like what?
He was a famous aviator back in the early 1900s. So it was like the 1930s, 1920s. He would go on these trips on planes, and he would just circle. He would make these long treks in a plane when it was very dangerous. Like, this was during like a very experimental period with in aviation. So it was terrifying to go from one end of the country to the other. And he set a lot of records.
That's cool.
With one eye. I don't
Dude,
know
that
how.
had to be kind of crazy because, like, I know, like, flying a plane now is a lot more calculated, but like shortly after planes were invented, like, I feel like that's like, I don't know, it's more like going out in a boat in the ocean without like a whole lot of, very minimal navigation. I guess maybe that's not like a great
I know what
analogy,
you mean, though, but I mean,
like,
you're
just
just not a lot of
Or just take away one oar because
we're
just
kinda
flying
out in the
with
wild.
half of his fucking face. Yeah.
But just in general, it's like there's something where it's like how long we were in horses, like how long we rode horses as like the main way of getting around places, to then like the invention of like the first motorized vehicle to like fully commercial flights. It's like took 1% of the time. It's probably less than that, but it took like 1% of the time to go from like the end of the horse to commercial flights, and it was like start to finish horses.
Yeah. I heard a funny fact. At
It better
one
be.
point, I mean, I really hope you guys find this funny.
Let's go.
Aaron's like, I'm not laughing at any of your jokes. It was the back, 100 years ago, majority of people owned a horse, but only rich people owned a car. And now it's majority of people own a car and only rich people own a horse. So,
That is a fun
Yeah, Kentucky Derby. I don't know.
did you guys,
That's not what you meant, but I said, sorry. Yeah.
there is a new theory on, or maybe not a new theory, but like a more proven theory on what happened to Amelia Earhart. It's not like 100% proven, but it sounds like this is
Is it
the
the
way people
Bermuda Triangle? I can already tell it's not.
I don't know if it was in the Bermuda Triangle, but there
I feel like that
is.
used to be a much bigger deal.
The Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
We should talk about that a lot. We should talk about the Bermuda Triangle a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, this probably happened
Sweet
in the
ride at
Bermuda
Whitewater
Triangle.
Bay or whatever. Yeah, I don't remember.
right.
Yeah.
But there is, like, based off her path and where they kind of like lost contact, there's a chance that she ended up like landing like close to this island and getting to this island. And
You trying to get back to the kitchen or what? Yeah. No, that was stupid. I don't know why the hell I went to that direction. That was so stupid.
there is like potential that she was eaten alive by coconut crabs. And it's like, that's like
kinda
the
badass.
bleeding
Like,
theory
whoa.
right now. It's like she ended up on this island, like, got there with her, I think with her co-pilot, and like we're staying on this island and like we're attacked and eaten by coconut crabs, which for those that don't know are like multiple feet long, like
Oh, damn.
massive
Okay.
crabs.
That's not as badass.
Yeah,
They should rename them Earhart crabs.
but they found essentially they found bone fragments on this island that was inhabited by these like legitimately like people killing coconut crabs. And
Damn.
they traced it, like they tried to track it back to Amelia Earhart and they like weren't able to make the connections, but they
Right.
threw them out before they had like DNA testing. But they've like gone back and looked at the like pictures of them or like the
Yeah, but
evidence of
like
it.
trajectory of everything.
That's
it would,
wild,
it would
Right.
be
It's like
a
it's
plausible thing.
Apparently, like at least what I heard, that's the leading theory.
That's crazy. So Amelia Earhart had crabs. That's crazy.
No, the crabs had her.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You're like, oh shit. Like, I don't want to, you don't want to, no, I have Amelia Earhart. No, I don't know.
You hate to catch the Amelia Earhart. Dude.
Yeah.
Had that in college.
Wow.
Oh man.
Hey, if we're going this direction,
I'm sorry that I even did this. Like,
No, this is great.
it didn't look convincing.
That's wild, though. Dude. You start thinking about this is gonna be a weird turn, but it kind of goes with it. You ever see those videos of like a mountain lion like killing a deer? And it's like you're like, oh, like nature's intense, and then you actually like visually watch like how intense nature is, and you're like, oh fuck, like that is a brutal way to go. Or like one of the craziest ones is that the way grizzly bears do things, because they're such a like apex predator, that most animals like kill you then eat you. Bears are just like paw on your chest and then just start eating, because they don't have to worry about you, so they don't even kill you, they just start eating. Like whatever animal or person or whatever, they literally don't even most of them like break your neck or whatever, and then like, oh cool, now I don't have to worry about the grizzly bear's like, yeah, fuck it, just like paw on you and just starts going to town.
That's right. Yeah. Because I remember watching a YouTube video of a grizzly bear. It got locked in a car and then it freaked out and it just started eating everything in it. Like it just tore the car apart.
Dude, grizzly bears are brown bears are crazy.
Dude, they are fast. I think they run like 40 miles an hour.
They're like they're
not like this big like thing that you could just outrun.
Yeah,
like
Yogi Bear coming at you. That thing can run. It's like, because that's the thing is, it's like a brown bear. It's like one of the reasons why you don't run from a brown bear is like they're almost as fast as a horse. They can climb a tree better than you, and like, what are you gonna do? That's why it's like
commit suicide, I guess.
Yeah, like, honestly, dude,
obviously not as cool as bears.
Like you're literally like a black bear. You're supposed to like scare. A brown bear is like tuck your head between your legs. If you have a backpack, cover your neck and spine, get in a ball, and hope it's not hungry.
You guys are better people than me. Because you guys are like, oh man, it's crazy that these things kill people. And then I'm over here like, dude, I just watched Final Destination and I laughed the whole way through that movie. I do not know that.
Yeah, you should see
we
someone
know.
about
It's
that.
okay though. Yeah. Your uncle didn't have a roof. You've got excuses.
Oh shit.
Yeah. But yeah, though, those like, you actually like realize, just to the point of like coconut crabs, you're like, oh, like a crab, like, would that eat somebody? And it's like, fuck yes, it would. Or this is real dark, but it's like when they talk about like if somebody passes away in their house, like how long it is before their pets start to eat them. And apparently, fun fact, one of the like main things that they talk about with this, and I'm very well studied in this. I'm just kidding. I watched like one video, but
this already really into this.
Yeah, there is only one video, so you're about as well studied as you can get.
But one of the things they talk about is that cats, it's like the next day.
Damn.
They're like, start
That's
eating.
why I'm not a cat person, dude.
That's
don't give a
why
fuck
I want to
about
be
you.
Chinese, dude.
Yeah.
I want to eat them
Dogs.
before they know.
Dogs will apparently go as like long as they can until you're like the only thing.
That's respectable.
But they've said that labs won't do they've seen more situations where labs like won't do it. They just like they'll starve to death before they'll eat their own.
Labs are good people.
Yeah,
that's
dude.
awesome.
Tell you what.
Yeah. Going back to bears, I'm going to tell a crazy story. I think I've shared this
I
one.
know this story and it is crazy.
So we had my dad's a big hunter, so I grew up hunting as a kid, and he has a lot of friends that are big hunters as well. A lot of them are duck hunters. Some of them are deer hunters. Some of them are, he's really big into turkey hunting. He's got some friends that do bear hunting, and he has one friend that's, or he's probably got multiple friends that are bear hunters and will do participate in bear archery season. And I can't
Which
remember.
is just a wicked thing in general.
Yeah.
Right.
I was about to say, I didn't know. Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's a real thing. Bear archery season.
So I think this
Really just even in a playing field kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen that dude that hunts with spears? He's like killed deer with like, he'll hang out in a tree and like with a spear. And
That's why.
he'll put a GoPro on the spear. And like, yeah,
People don't realize like a compound bow will shoot a long way, but not long enough for you to be like a comfortable shot with like a bow. You're talking like 60 yards is like,
That's a long shot,
I
too.
feel okay about this. You really want to be like 30, which is like me to my car right now.
Yeah, you're like half a football field. You have to, a bear has to get within half a football field of you to start to feel comfortable.
Right,
with
that
being
I'm going to
able-
be able to take this out.
Right, yeah, you got to get
Clean.
close. So, this guy is bow hunting during bear season. I think it's black bears, which are not as crazy as grizzly bears,
Still fucking bears.
they will
though.
still kill you. This bear walks into the clearing he's at. He's up in I think some kind of tree stand, maybe a climber stand. So he's up in this tree. Bear turns broadside. Draws back his bow, gets a good shot on him, shoots the bear. The bear slowly just looks up straight at him and just slowly starts walking to the tree. Gets to the bottom of the tree and starts climbing up.
What a power move. Like, he's just like, all right, well, time to go to work
today.
Like, it's not much, but
Buddy.
it's honest work. Like,
Luckily, this guy's got another arrow, draws back again, has to aim straight down, hits this bear dead between the eyes.
ooh.
Bear stops for a second, keeps climbing. Draws back again. This bear is only 10 feet below him at this point, and he hits the bear again, dead between the eyes again.
Yeah.
Bear stops, keeps climbing, gets to within 3 feet. I think the arrows are touching the bottom of his stand. Stops again, and the bear just keels over and falls off the tree.
What? Okay.
So
And that's the day that tree stand turned into a bathroom. Goodness.
Yeah.
Well, that's why a lot of those guys, there's a big thing where a lot of those guys will film themselves too. Well, they'll wear GoPros and stuff because they'll also carry, a big pistol, like a Magnum, something, a big pistol, a big caliber pistol, and will shoot the bear, but you can get in a ton of trouble rather than be eaten by a bear.
Right.
But it's there's a lot of times we have to film that they're I am in danger. I had to do this kind of
Right.
thing.
this was for safety, not for hunting.
Yeah, right. I was
Yeah.
trying to not be eaten,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
It's a pretty noble goal. Yeah.
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 Wild.
I don't want to be eaten. Yeah.
I got a wildlife misdemeanor that came back up in my life recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I can't remember if I shared this one recently or not, but this was when we were applying for loans for the new store.
I love how you refer to domestic terrorism as a wildlife misdemeanor. Okay.
I had a good lawyer.
People are animals.
It was reclassified. Yeah, it's like when you get a minor in possession, they change it over to littering.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
You just need a good lawyer.
Right.
But yeah, it was.
Jesus.
But yeah, it was when we were applying for loans and the bank was looking through everything, business related and personal related. And they were and they, were coming to me with questions and they were like, yes, we just need, your, what you were doing from 1995 to 1998 in your professional career. And I'm like, I was 3. And they're like, and we also saw back in 2013, you had a wildlife misdemeanor. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, and it was because we were, teal hunting, which is a type of duck. And we were told, I was with the buddy and he looked up the shooting time because you're not allowed to shoot until a certain time. And he said half an hour before sunrise, which is pretty common. So we looked up when sunrise was, started shooting about a half an hour before because the teal are flying. And game warden came out, trudging in his waders out in the water, asked us when we started shooting. And we're like half an hour before sunrise. And he's like, shooting time doesn't start until sunrise. So and that was when I was 21 or 22, and the bank looked that up. So.
Of course they did. Yeah.
That is one of the craziest things. Anybody who's never been duck hunting, those ducks are smart. You realize how much of it is literally at that point bred into them, survival in that sense.
They do like bread. Yeah. I don't know why though.
Apparently not good for ducks.
Yeah,
Alyssa told me that. Yeah,
but it's
Alyssa would tell you. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
she's big. She's a big animal. She worked at a pet store. She's smart with that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's if shooting time starts at 6, let's say it starts at 6 a.m. and it ends at 4 p.m. At 5:59, there might be 800 to it's even more so, I feel like, after. But it's like, if shooting time ends at 4 o'clock, 4:02, you might not have seen a duck all day long, or maybe 1 or 2 ducks all day. And then it is 4:02, and I shit you not, there is 3,000 ducks in the air. Like minutes after like that final, like that horn goes of like,
damn, it's like Carlsbad for ducks. Or whatever.
But you're like, all right, I can't shoot you anymore. And they're like, all right, guys, time to go. And it's like, it's crazy. You know,
got to experience it. Like that was a pretty intense one, but that is like not uncommon.
Right. There was like literally thousands we had seen like 6 ducks all day. And then there are thousands of ducks in the air. And you're like, all right, assholes. Like, you guys got this figured out. Don't you?
Flying a little extra close and like try to shit on you.
They're like, crazy. It is great. But I mean, like, you think about it, it's like, you know, whether it's bred into them of like, you know, shooting time, like those ones don't reproduce as much that fly in the middle of the day. Or if, you know, they just get trained somehow.
The few that just happen to be nocturnal were the ones that survived. And
right.
Yeah.
Dude,
well, I mean, that's how like
the 6 ducks that are just like, hold my bread, watch this. Yeah. Oh my God, Bill and Frank. I don't know. Yeah.
But that is like how polar bears like exist, is because the ones that were white, like that had white fur, naturally survived more in the Arctic than the ones with black
I knew the
fur.
Arctic was racist. Yeah, like, what the hell?
Like those were the ones that
thought about that.
like
Makes sense.
camouflaged more. And it's like, if you had that like mutation of having white fur, then survived, got to sneak up on prey better, and then reproduce, and now you have like a whole other species. Which you think grizzly bears are crazy. Freaking
Polar bears?
Polar bears are bananas.
Yeah. They also drink Coke. Like,
Yeah.
they're literally like,
Bears are my favorite animal, if y'all can't tell. But polar bears are crazy because, one, they are typically like 10 feet tall. They are also non-discriminatory predators, which means they will kill and eat anything.
That's
They don't
very
give
inclusive
a
of them.
shit. Yeah. Where it's like there's like stories of people where they're like, you know, their boat sank or whatever, and they're like on like a ice, you know, whatever, floating out in the Arctic, like trying to get back to land, and it's just like you see a polar bear like bob its head up out of the water, and you're like, and then it climbs up, and it's just like first one, and again, they don't kill you.
Paw on your chest.
And start eating.
Dude, if there's like a group of you too, and you're just like floating there, it probably gets full at some point, and it's just hangs out like, all right, I'll eat you guys later.
Right, dude. Or like, what is it? Like wolves and coyotes. One of the things that they do is like, as a pack, they like, they'll take out the muscles in your legs and they start eating you like back end first, because the animal stays alive the longest and the meat doesn't rot. And so it's like, it will literally eat a deer or whatever over the course of like days, because they're just like, yeah, well, if they kill it now, in a couple of days, the meat's going to be rotten. But if we take its leg muscles out where it can't run away, and then we start eating it like ass first.
I was supposed to say they literally eat your ass first.
Yeah, right.
Jesus,
Like they start eating ass first, then it like it's going to take a lot longer for it to die, and yeah. So, dude, like
painful.
There's like a bunch of like I know there's like, what is it on Instagram? It's like Nature's Hardcore or something like that. But it's like people don't realize like,
dude, there's like. There's definitely like more intense ways to like go out in nature, but like I don't think there's like a good way to go out in nature.
For
like,
sure. Yeah. It's like starving, freezing, eating ass first. I know which one of those I would choose. But,
howdy. Yeah.
But that's like one of the main arguments of like the humane side of hunting is like people are like, oh, but you're killing this innocent animal. And it's like, yeah. And I'm Switzerland here, but it's like the argument from like the hunting side is like, I'm going to kill this animal as quickly and as humanely as possible. Like versus this thing freezing, starving, or like eating ass first. Like those are the three other options. There's not a lot of old age that happens, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't get put on morphine in a hospital bed.
Right. It's some injury, it breaks its leg, and then just like lays there and dies over like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Nature be crazy.
This is what you expected to talk about, right?
I mean, I feel like I derailed the whole thing with the way dark humor. So
No,
you
this
kind of like
is-
saved it, kind of.
I want some more dark humor. You got any more good ones?
You got anything about bears?
I got nothing. No. So, something that's, no, there was I don't know. This is the first thing that comes to my head when you say bears, but I was a tour guide at a museum, and it had like a lot of like
You look
taxonomy
like
stuff.
a tour guide at a museum.
This Halloween.
We had a lot of like taxonomy going on around the museum. So we had like a stuffed bear. We had like a stuffed like a mummy, all kinds of stuff. And I remember a kid came up to me and he was like, "Hey, like, how did you get him to look like that? Like, how did the mummy get so well preserved or whatever?" And I was like, "Oh, he's been sleeping for like forever. Like, he's not dead." Like, and then we got a call later, and then that kid, that kid has insomnia. So, that's the best I got. I don't know. Yeah, that was a sick bear. We need to get. Dude, I want to get like something like, dude, that would be sick to put in here. Like put a little bear head on something.
I would one day, right, is so there's an extinct bear. It's called a short-faced bear. And that is like, we're talking back when you had like megafauna. So just like massive animals, 8-foot, 10-foot sloths. Like things were huge. And so like the short-faced bear is kind of got a bit of like a pug bulldog kind of look to it, in the sense of it literally had a shorter snout than what they like
it
had
needed a
now.
CPAP machine kind of thing. I don't think those things were meant to live, and it's mean. We got to stop doing it.
But
Like,
they
my aunt should be taking notes from these things. Okay, I'm sorry.
Alyssa's going to like that rant.
Yeah.
She's going to listen to these, but
But yeah, short-faced bears were like legitimately like 12 to like 15 feet tall and would weigh like 4,000 pounds. And you're just like, that is, and the thing is they find like fossils and like I've seen like a fossilized or like they found like an intact pelt that they like, a section like
If it's that fat, it definitely needs a CPAP machine.
It's like, dude, it is crazy. Like its claws are like, dude, one of the like craziest like
Look at my
prehistoric
nails,
animals,
and they're like fucking 8 inches long.
for real
Jesus,
though. Like, and I mean, but you got to think like that's what was going around eating, like mega sloths.
Yeah. Sorry.
They got to be a predator for this.
Dude,
Sloth ass.
yeah, eating that sloth ass first.
Jesus Christ.
Dude,
That's what you and Alyssa call it, right?
we got our moves in the bedroom. Yeah, I remember hearing about this. Was like,
And this is Kevin's top 3 moves in the bedroom.
the key is to move very slowly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Keep them wanting more forever till death. I don't know. I ran out of good tags. They're getting worse.
There used to be millipedes or that
dude.
were like 10 to 15 foot long.
Dude, that and eating ass in the same conversation. I don't like the movie that it's headed in the direction of.
Do you guys ever watch that?
Don't say human centipede. That's what I've been trying to avoid. No, okay. Sorry.
11 feet tall, and they'd weigh 2,000 pounds.
That's
What, the
nuts.
millipedes?
No. The
bears.
The
The
short-faced
bears.
bears.
Okay.
Got to make sure you get your facts right.
Right. I don't want some bearologist.
You want a
come in
replica
here.
of one of those, or what's the?
Dude. Well, like you can find replicas, but they also have so there's these like places in Alaska or like other like essentially like glacier runoff spots where there will be essentially, to put it as like bluntly as it is, a ditch where like a bunch of it will like flow into. And so they'll find like full skulls of like short-faced bears and like full intact skeletons and stuff. And you can come across them in like certain things, but that would be like one day when Triad's huge, we'd have to be, but to like actually own like a full intact fossilized like short-faced bear skull would be like one of the coolest things I think in the world.
That'd be dope.
Dude, so
Be a cool tattoo. Actually, I just saw you point at the T-Rex skull.
I was scratching, but yeah. This is my unintentional skull leg. I've got 3 skulls on this leg and had zero intention any of that. It was funny when we had during the volleyball season, the girls would be like, Thomas, like, what do your tattoos mean? And like, I'd be like, well, this one I got like matching with like one of my best friends. Like this one's supposed to be like about my wife. And this one's a Tyrannosaurus Rex skull because I just think those are cool.
That's what's up.
When I was explaining, the bottom part of my leg sleeve was like, we got an alligator on the outside because it represents being calm until the moment is right. We got a great blue heron.
Dude, this is just astrology for tattoo. Yeah.
Great blue heron for being kind of a similar, but like being very precise about your actions. And I got a snake on the back because that makes me look cool.
That's cool. There's literally a snake in my boot right now.
And is that not just how tattoos are though? Which is like the
100%.
funniest thing.
And those are some of my favorites where I'm like, that'd be kind of cool.
This matching with my friend. This one is like supposed to symbolize the love for my wife. This one's a T-Rex skull. T-Rex skulls kick ass.
Yeah. Autism lives on. Let's go.
But for real, that is,
Dog.
I feel like
That
so many
makes me
tattoos
want to
are-
get a tattoo.
Let's go.
I'm surprised I don't have any, but the
You don't have any?
no, I don't. No. How'd I go through the United States military and not have a tattoo?
Yeah.
That's a good
or
question.
at least a sleeve or something. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I just
That
wanted
should be
to
the
waste my money on something. No,
Well,
I'm kidding.
actually, fun fact: we've actually brought a tattoo artist with us.
Zach, come on in.
You're getting tattooed today.
oh shit.
What would you get as a tattoo? You think?
I don't know, like maybe something autistic, like a fire truck or something.
would be cool.
Yeah, like
yeah.
I have no idea.
Wee woo, wee woo. Big time.
That, like coming out the siren. Like,
My
Train. I don't know.
yeah, I obviously have tattoos. My wife didn't until we got together. So we started dating and getting married and stuff. And so now I'm worried because I think other members of her family are starting to think about getting a tattoo. And her parents, I wouldn't say they used to be much more anti-tattoo than they are now, obviously, because they like me and stuff. But I don't think they're going to blame me, but secretly I feel like they're going to blame me as like, oh, well, it was okay for Thomas to have tattoos.
Yeah.
I'd be like, listen.
I think just like the whole vibe around tattoos, just culturally, are just wildly different now. Like there's probably more people. It feels like there's more people with tattoos than not now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, oh, okay. Well.
What was it? There's that like tattoos back in the day used to mean like you just got out of prison, and now it just means that you make a nice pork belly with a balsamic reduction.
Just means you went to Austin. I don't know.
Yeah, it just doesn't, not the same.
Yeah.
I'm itching for another one. I think I'm ready.
you get talking about them. I a little bit lucky in this. I don't know this for sure, but when Alyssa and I started dating, she had more tattoos than I did. I had like one or two, but she had more. So it was like being around her. It was like she would get a tattoo, and then I would want a tattoo.
Yeah.
So I think my parents blame her for that
Yeah.
instead of me. So
Okay.
I don't know for sure, but that's what my theory.
Tim ain't tatted up.
Yeah.
No, Tim. My mom did say, because my sister has a bunch of little girl gang tattoos, like the little ones on your wrist and then like your ankle and whatnot.
Right.
And then my mom's warmed up to it more. And she started, I think she was drinking one night, and she was like, I'm thinking about getting a tattoo.
Yeah. I've been
That's all
pushing.
it takes. And then they get a rose on their foot or
Yeah,
whatever.
right.
And they're just like, well, it's not that bad. It's not the same thing as his T-Rex or whatever.
I've been pushing Tina. We've been, it's never going to happen, but
So.
we've been sending her subliminal messaging.
Who's Tina? Is that her mom?
My mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, sick.
She called me earlier.
Oh.
She just needs help moving something.
Oh, okay. I thought it might be an
You
emergency.
mean moving a
That was, yeah.
tattoo needle across her?
Yeah.
Yeah. My mom also said when I first started getting tattoos, she was like, because this was when I was leaving school, working at a supplement store, telling her I wanted to own my own business.
You're straight up degenerate.
Dude, I think I had like, again, one or two at the time. And she was like, this is really going to affect you being able to get a job later in life. You really probably better cool it on the tattoos.
Okay.
I'm like, Mom, I'm going to own my own business. I don't need an employer to hire me kind of deal. And she's like, all right, when you work for yourself and you write your own paycheck, you can get as many tattoos as you want.
Okay.
She hasn't said anything since.
What's the job like? Did your parents have like a job that you ever imagined like they wanted you to have, kind of thing?
Something that required a college degree for sure.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I think they wanted me to have a 401k and
Some
and
corporate
health
something.
insurance and like something that was stable. So I got all those things now. So
All right.
yeah.
Sick. Yeah. Did you have any similar experience, or were they just kind of like,
No.
no?
No.
They're just like, I just wanted this guy to not die or something. I don't know. Like,
Allegedly, yes.
I came from a family that was rough, so they didn't have. I also had low expectations.
Yeah.
I think your family's probably more put together than mine was, though.
Yeah, so yeah. I mean, that's nice because then you're not set up for disappointment,
Right.
You guys are
Yeah,
really
we're the
lucky.
lucky ones. Yeah. No, you got to figure it out.
In hindsight, do you ever wonder like how you didn't become a disappointment? Because like that's the feeling nope, yep, okay.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm with you.
Okay, yeah. Because I remember watching, like, I still watch professional wrestling, but like I remember watching it as a kid and looking up to John Cena. Yeah, exactly. And then like, these other kids are like, I want to be a doctor. And I'm like, but bro, Cena's the doctor of thugonomics. I want to be that.
Right.
That's way cooler.
Right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how this worked the way it did.
No, I think like, there is like a really interesting thing to like, I think in any environment or anything, like school work bosses are like a big one. But like, I think that's a good example is like learning how to be as good of a boss as I can by having bad bosses. You know what I mean? Where it was like a lot of like, I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
And I don't mean, I'm not putting that on my family. I just mean like in general of like when you're in hard situations, like finding that like, don't do that.
Yeah.
People really don't like that.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
In general, so I think even when you have like those kind of things, like if you can understand and see even like, no matter where you're coming from, like you learn a lot of what to do by learning what not to do.
Man, okay, that resonates. Yep, all right. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you for
because I think
that
like people
therapy,
have like, like the older brother. I don't have any brothers, but it's like the older brother who like always got in trouble for sneaking out. So you're like, I'm not going to do that. Or if I am, I'll be smarter about it. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's a lot to it that I think exists within those realms.
I had a friend when I was younger that was kind of getting into some trouble. And my parents got kind of concerned about me hanging out with him. And they were like, we think you're a really good kid and he's kind of going down the wrong path and we just don't want him to pull you, with him. How I got the approval to, still hang out with this friend was, hey, if you guys think I'm a good kid, is there any chance that I could have good influence on this kid to not go down the wrong path?
Damn. Born to be a salesman. All right. Yeah.
I sold them. They were like, wow, okay, yeah, like, do you think, like, hopefully get him on a better path? And I'm like, I'm going right down the bad path.
Where to weed it?
30 tattoos later.
No, but seriously,
I'm kidding.
I felt pretty confident about that because, like, I don't know. I felt like I was like not trying to get in like a crazy amount of trouble when I was younger,
Right.
and maybe talked him out of some exceptionally bad things. But
Yeah.
Good for you, dude.
Dude, I really have to pee. I'm sorry. Yeah. And I know it's like a terrible time.
Go tinkle, dude.
Yeah. All right, I'll be right
Oh,
back.
okay.
then.
Am I just by myself?
no, I'll hang with you. I can make it because we gotta be done by 7. Okay, I can make it. Just you and me now, dude.
Had a partner.
Howdy.
Something about ranching. You watched the new episode of Yellowstone? I remember when a cowboy had my life.
I think I
This is the
probably had,
longest, I'd say, besides like being in like a gas station and being like,
I used to have a whole cowboy outfit. I was a cowboy for Halloween, but it didn't have to be Halloween for me to dress up as a cowboy.
I do have a picture of me as a kid with my whole cowboy get up. A giddy up.
Dude, I mean,
Yeehaw, I know
I
the
feel like
words.
those kids grow up to be good guys, Got a cowboy outfit. The kid's gonna grow up to be a good dude.
I love all those like things that you'll see where it's like, I hope the kids who had this are doing okay. And it'll be like the old like skater logo stuff. Or like there's one I saw was like the girls who used to use the stickers of the Playboy bunny at the tanning salon, like, what are you up to these days? Like those are all really funny to me. It's like, oh yeah,
How are you
like
guys doing?
yeah. It's like,
How did those people turn out?
there was one who was like the kids who didn't use folders and just shoved papers into their backpack. How you doing right now? And then somebody's like, not good, dude. Not good.
Dude, that is the one nice thing about Facebook. I wish I was friends with more people from high school.
Bro, one of my favorite things about looking back to people in high school, because we're at that age, right? Like I'm 33. You're 32.
I think so.
Yeah, you're telling me. About to be 34. Be 34 this month. I love my early 30s for nothing more than the range of ages people look that are my age.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'll see somebody that I went to high school with that's 33, 34, and they'll look like they're 25. I'll see ones that I think look like they're in their young 30s, and then there are some that they look like they're 60. Yeah. And I'm like, how does this happen? Like, it's like,
Steroids.
yeah, but it's like,
I don't even know the context of the conversation.
but it's like, I couldn't have told you who all was going to have a goatee in their 30s, but everybody from high school that has a goatee checks out.
Couldn't predict it, but
Yeah, like
They
looking
watch
back, I'm
professional
like,
wrestling. I don't
But
know.
it's like, dude, there are ones where it's like, it's one of my favorite things to do. It's such a mean girl thing of me to do, but I do it.
yeah.
I can be bitchy like that, dude.
What, judging people?
No, yeah, well, like pulling up people I went to high school with
Oh, yeah.
that are the same age as me,
Okay.
and being like,
Oh,
here's what I looked like in high school. Here's what I look like now.
Yeah,
here's
no.
what they look like in high school.
If you ever feel
They
shitty
look like they're 55 years
Yeah,
old.
you're right. You're right. If you ever feel shitty about yourself, look up everybody from high school
Dude,
and then
that's
compare
so cool, 'cause
yourself.
how old-
That's terrible. Open up a yearbook and compare.
How old
Yeah.
are you?
32. That's bad. I had to think about it.
Well,
Yeah.
that's funny. We were
Yeah.
just talking about that.
We have like a birthday
It was
that's like
same
a day.
birthday.
It's
Yeah.
the exact
Yeah,
same
it's
birthday.
July 17th,
Yeah, we were born
1992.
literally on the exact same day.
All right,
Yeah,
cool,
yeah.
guys. Kiss about it. Fuck.
We have.
But no, we're at the perfect age. This is my favorite thing about my young 30s. Going into my mid 30s is the range of ages people in their like 30 to 35. You can look like you're 20, 30, or 80. Like it's crazy the differences that people can look. Like it's wild.
We're actually going to have our high school reunion here because we didn't have it during COVID, and I honestly I have a lot of care in my. I actually want to know how these people are doing it in the most genuine way possible. Because I've told
you need to go brag.
I'm not going to be that person. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go into this.
You know, there's so many people that do that.
Yeah, that's most people probably. They're going to show up and they're going to compare themselves. And I'm just going to try to be like
your astronaut costume with a cowboy hat on top of it.
Oh yeah, why not? Like I'll drop everybody's barrier by being the dipshit or whatever. I don't care. Yeah.
I'm fine. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I'm finding pixtures.
Because you already had your 10-year reunion, right?
No, we didn't because it was during COVID.
Oh, right.
It was during COVID, and then like nobody, they were all like, well, I guess we're not going to have it. And then they didn't have it the next year and the next year and the next year. And then eventually I just was like, Dog, I got a comedy club. We can just do it here. Like, let's just do it. And they were like,
oh, you're going to do it literally here.
Yeah. And I was just like, all right, like
That's
we'll just
awesome.
have like a 15 or 20 or whatever here. And then we'll just do it here perpetually.
That's awesome. I wish I would have been able to make it to our 10-year reunion. I don't know how they decide who's in charge of that, but
man, he looked up somebody, compared himself, and it's hilarious. Let's see that.
Okay. This is a buddy of mine. I'm not going to show the picture to the camera. I'm sorry.
Okay. That's healthy.
He is our age.
Dude, get the fuck out. Dude, all right.
He looks like Walter White, man.
I was gonna say this earlier, but like
goatee.
Oh man,
goatee. Like I just can't. I don't think I'll ever be like, yep. I think it's time for a goatee.
Dude, you see like the Jalen Hurts goatee, real classy. If you're going to have a goatee, it has to be like ultra manicured, I feel like.
Or
you got to like
black.
Yeah, well, that's what I was getting at.
I was going to say
but
too,
it's got to be ultra manicured and like very intentional. And I think, or like, because I don't have a goatee, but I have like thinner beard. I'll trim this more than I trim this. And it's kind of like, but it's still like a full beard thing. But yeah, it's, but that is like,
yeah,
bro. Yeah,
it is
our age.
How?
It's crazy. I love it. It's one of my absolute favorite things,
dude. I feel like he could look a lot younger if he just did something different with his facial hair.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going? We're gonna wrap up really quick, and then we'll let you guys in. Yeah.
I got one more I gotta pull up here.
Okay.
Because it's just as bad. Keep going. Talk.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say
nothing out of the ordinary. A candidate for governor just walked in the door and then walked right out.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Dude, you guys seem like you're popping here, man.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the building today.
Yeah. Dude, as we are wrapping up, is there anything you'd like to share with anybody listening as far as like things that are going on, or as the club kind of develops?
So yeah. I would say one of the strongest things we have going so far, and we're still pretty new. We're soft open right now until the end of the year, and then we're going to be hard open. But during the soft open, we're going to have on Thursdays we have this thing called the Comedy Rumble. It's a panel style show where we have three people basically ask questions to comedians. They do a couple minutes. They do anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes. Then they get asked questions. They get interviewed, and we're going to do bigger versions of that for paid shows later. But we also have Monday night open mics. But every Friday going forward, starting this Friday, we will have more professionally done shows that we're going to be experimenting with here in one of our bigger rooms in the building. And then later in the year, we're going to have regular headlining shows. And one thing I'm trying to kind of piece together, and as surprising as this may sound after this podcast, like I do want to have like a show for parents to be able to bring their kids. So I'm trying to develop that right now. So that way we can kind of have, we'll have a room for kids to have activities with sitters that they can trust. In addition, we'll probably have like a PG-13, like it maybe gets close to R, but not too R type of showcase or shows or some sort of concept. But we're very open to feedback. This is a very iterative process. We want the community to participate in terms of like making these shows what they need to be. So, yeah, I don't know. Those are a bunch of things we got going on. We also have bachata, salsa, and country and swing dances. We have Bilo KC. We have the free day of dance here. We have almost 100 people in the room right now for the free day of dance. I would highly recommend you reach out to us or the event center, Chisholm Creek Event Center. We rent out rooms. We rent out spaces like this. So we're trying to make the social hub for the city. So anyway, we can do that. Please let me know. Feedback, give it to us. if you didn't like what I said, let me know. So I can never do this ever again. I'll shut up and I'll just keep building. Yeah. Yeah. But this has been a lot of fun.
It is cool to hear, especially talking to you before, man, like how, like obviously how many things you guys have going on, but also how flexible you are with being able to try new things and do new things. And just, I feel like this will end up being something really special.
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
think so too.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah. Excited for you guys.
Yeah. What episode is this?
71.
71.
Hell yeah.
Before we finish the episode, so here's a picture of myself and then two guys.
All right. Yeah.
That is that.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That is that. And this is this.
Oh. I think life is hard,
that's
man.
me.
All right, like it gets the best of us sometimes. Like your decisions catch up with you. I honestly think most of the people from my high school, like they're doing good. Like you guys are doing good.
Better than that?
Yeah. Yeah. I think some of them look better than me.
Yeah, I'd like to shout out everybody from St. Charles West too. I'm not going to hate on you. But everybody at Thomas's high school.
Go to high school, brother. Woo! They went through it. All right, episode 79. Sorry, I can't show you that. That would be mean. Love you. Bye.
Thanks for listening, guys.